Hey, how's it going? And welcome to Whisky Wins with me, Stuart. Today we've got whisky and beer. I'm not going to drink both, I'm just having the whisky at the moment. But we've got a Carn Mor 2012, Glen Ord, which has been matured in bourbon for 9 years and then had an extra 12 months in a Wasted Degrees porter cask. Wasted Degrees are a microbrewery. They first started in Palate, they then moved to Blair Athol, and I genuinely think they produce good stuff. Anytime I'm up there and they're open, I try and pop in and pick up a couple beers, or if I have to, I'll get them online. I've had this Chipotle Porter sitting for a while. This is my fourth bottle of this, and I've kept it because they've stopped doing it, but it's really good stuff. I've also got this barrel aged spruce stout, stout, where they've used the spruce tips from Blair Athol Estates, and they've also collaborated with SMWS on this. So the guys have got a passion for beer, obviously, but they also have some links to whisky. I believe one of them used to work with SMWS. So there's some ties there, and it's good to see because we get this experiment, this kind of weird, wonderful experimentation. This beer's good. It is 10.4% ABV, so it will knock you on your ass. But yeah, I enjoy that. I've enjoyed some of the lagers as well, and some of the other stuff, but I kind of prefer the stouts and the porters. I have tried the porter that they matured this in. They had it on tap and it was nice. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say. The price of this is about £68 RRP, 54.8% ABV, so I've got water here just in case, and non-chill filtered, no added colouring. So they also released a 10-year-old solely in bourbon side by side for comparison. I tried that at Dunkeld Whiskey Box, didn't really enjoy it, so I just stuck with this one because I didn't see the point in having both when I didn't really enjoy the other one. So we'll get down to the nose on this. Yeah, there's roasted coffee beans, there's like a creamy caramel, there's chocolate covered honeycomb that reminds me of Crunchy. I don't know if it's Dairy Milk that makes that or Nestle or something, but the Crunchy bar. It's still clean and crisp and fresh, which I believe I get with Glen Ord, or I've had with Glen Ord before. Something that's actually thrown me off with how clean and crisp it's been. It's been like a little bit too, I try to think, not fizzy, but just a little bit too aggressive on the nose. And that's coming through, but I feel like the porter has kind of subdued it a little bit. And it's what I've struggled with Glen Ord in the past. I've had some good examples of Glen Ord, but I have struggled with it as a distillery. But the porter seems to be helping here. There's a Jaffa Cake orange smell, and it reminds me of the little jelly bit of Jaffa Cake you get inside the heart of the Jaffa Cake. Not actually the Jaffa Cake itself, but the little kind of orangey bit. Yeah, crisp and fresh. But you're getting this kind of, it's weird, but it's lovely. You are getting a kind of beery, kind of stouty porter, kind of heaviness or richness through in the nose, just as you smell on top of the glass, and get away from all the alcohol. There's the remains of the porter. It's interesting, the palate. Roasted nuts, for sure on there on the palate. There's like a warm, honeyed flapjack. I'm getting like a kind of toasted cask. I think people say, and I've said in the past, it's like licking the inside of a charred cask. I feel like I'm getting that here. I don't know if the cask is charred or if either of the casks were charred, but it seems like it's got a bit of a char in there. There's a slight watery coffee note that the only way I can describe this, and if you've experienced it, is using a coffee pod machine, whether it's Nespresso or Dolce, I can't remember what the other one's called, but anyway, those coffee pod machines, I think I've got a Lavazza one, and you press the pod and it gives you the set amount of coffee, but you want a bigger glass, so you press to put the water through again, and it gives you a little bit of a watered down coffee. but obviously a bigger, a larger volume. So that's the only way I can describe it, as a kind of not as strong coffee as it should be, just a little bit watery, almost a watered down coffee. There's creamy fudge with a salted element as well, like kind of salted fudge, salted caramel or something like that. It's lovely, and you're definitely getting I feel you're getting the porter through these rich coffee and chocolate elements. Obviously, on the nose, I said about the Jaffa cake. It's lovely. I did get this. This was a birthday present from the Tabes guys, so I better say that. I'm not just bumming it up because they gave me it as a gift. Trust me, I would still give it a lot of criticism if it was bad. But no, I've when I seen this coming out, I kind of wanted to try it because I know that Carn Mor can produce quality stuff, and the guys at Wasted Degrees are great and they produce a lot of good beer. So it was a collaboration I was most excited about. The finish. It's just nice. It's a good finish. And it's not a typical. The colour on it's amazing. You should see the bourbon brother or sister cask, whatever you want to call it, sister whiskey, because the bourbon one's got no colour to it whatsoever, and it's just amazing to see that this colour came from the porter. The finish is long. There's more coffee, some walnuts there, a little bit of dark chocolate. I want to say possibly toast with marmalade spread on it, and just an overall richness and depth to this. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great example of experimenting gone right and using different avenues to experiment with, instead of just using sherry or port or red wine. The beer influence, I'm enjoying it. And I think I reviewed the Lagavulin and the Nick Offerman one with the Guinness. I'm pretty sure I enjoyed that as well. I am enjoying these deep, rich, dark influenced whiskies with the porter or the stouts, whatever it be. It just ticks a lot of boxes for me. So we'll get down to the review and we'll see if it's a whiskey win or a whiskey bin. So if you're new here, I rate my whiskies on three things, three factors. If we get 1 out of 3, it's a whiskey bin. 2 out of 3, it's a whiskey win. So the first is, would I buy it again? And I would, and I have. I have a spare bottle of this in the cupboard because I'm enjoying it, and I needed another bottle. It's still available, so I didn't have to rush and buy a bottle. I could have made up my mind at the end of the bottle, but I knew I wanted another one because it's just one that I can drink and that kind of ticks a lot of boxes for me, and just really speaks to me. So I would buy it again, and I have. Would I recommend it? Yeah. I think if you're not a porter fan, if you're not a stout fan, you're still going to enjoy this because it lends characteristics to the whiskey that doesn't overpower it, with the chocolate, the coffee, the dark kind of bitterness to it, and a little bit of creaminess as well, which is probably from the bourbon as well. But yeah, I think this will be enjoyed by a lot of people, even if they're not into porter or stouts. And do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I mean, I bought another bottle. It's £68, just shy of £70. It is only 10-year-old. You could argue that, but it's cask strength. It's a unique collaboration, a unique finish, and just dropped my coin. And it's non-chill filtered and no added colouring. So I think on paper, you could maybe be discouraged by it because of the age and the distillery not being like maybe an overlooked distillery, but after trying it, and I think it's worth the price. So it's 3 out of 3. It's a whiskey win, and I'm glad to finally get a whiskey win back, because I've had a few bins recently on the Cadenheads front. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review. I've been Stuart, this has been Whisky Wins. I'll see you later.